Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, good morning, Utah. Let's talk about your forecast here. We've got a beautiful start to our Wednesday out there, so as you're getting ready to head out the door, this is what you'll wake up to and walk out the door to. We've got blue skies. Notice, though, we are seeing a couple of these clouds, cirrus clouds that are streaming in here. This is ahead of a storm system that's going to be mainly moving by to our north, but could scrape the far northern portions of Utah, giving a slightly better chance of an isolated storm today. Temperatures right around 70 degrees now to kick off the day, so it is a mild start out there for sure. Let me show you these numbers. 50s out there in Logan. We've got mid-60s in Provo, low to mid-50s over towards Heber, 67 in Wendover, 65 in Cedar City, and down to 79 degrees. I say down to because we finally dropped below 80 degrees there in St. George. But it's not going to last long. As we go throughout the morning, those temperatures will quickly start to warm back up. We're looking at about 91 in Logan. How about 97 in Delta, 96 degrees in Bluff? In fact, as we zoom in, you can see we're expecting about 96 degrees today in Ogden. We're looking at a temperature of around 89 in Heber, 97 in Spanish Fork. How about 83 with some extra clouds and maybe some rain over towards Manila, 90 in Roosevelt, 96 degrees expected in the Dugway area. How about 84 in Fairview, 92 in East Carbon, 98 Green River, 92 degrees expected today in Richfield, and looking at Escalante, about 90 degrees. Hey, Lake Powell, look at you. 100 degrees expected for today. 103 in St. George and 88 degrees in Blanding. How about 97 in Hanksville? So the best chance for any isolated showers and storms today is going to be, as I mentioned, across far northern Utah. So we're talking Cache Valley, maybe over towards the Uintas, potentially even southwest Wyoming. That's going to be your highest chance. But even in these areas, we're only talking about isolated storm chances expected as we go throughout the day. A few clouds trying to make their way through the Beehive State for now, but here's the center of that main storm system way up near the Canadian border. So you see the problem here, right? So most of the moisture is going to be confined across Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, and we'll just see the southern tail end of that try to scrape by portions of northern Utah. So while, yes, we basically all have a chance of an isolated storm across northern and eastern portions of the state, the best chance of seeing an isolated storm and one that could have some gusty winds, torrential downpours, and frequent lightning will be confined in extreme northern Utah from Park Valley, Snowville, over towards Logan, Lake Town, over towards the Brigham City area, Randolph, and then stretching over into southwestern Wyoming. But again, keep an eye to the sky just in case, but you'll see how isolated this is going to be. So as we look at Futurecast, we can show you this here. Again, the clouds that are making their way through the area this morning. By lunchtime, we can see an isolated shower or two pop over the Uintas here. But again, we'll be over Castle Country in the Uintas. And then notice as we get into the afternoon hours, that's where we could also see a little bit more activity, maybe for the Wasatch back, maybe down towards Utah County. And then notice across far northwestern Utah, we'll be watching for that broken line that tries to get going. But either way, an isolated storm or two across the northeastern sections of the state, stretching up into southwest Wyoming. That's going to be about it this evening. It's not going to be widespread, but the chance is there, so we want to keep you updated on that. Once this little weak system moves by, the warm temperatures stay in place. In fact, we get a big high-pressure ridge. We call this the ring of fire pattern. You know our friend Johnny Cash, right? The burning ring of fire. Well, that's what's going to be happening here across the Beehive State. That means that any storm systems will go up and around this ridge of high pressure. So we are going to be baking underneath the heat. And we may see something trying to break down that ridge by the middle of next week, but that's a maybe at this point. Otherwise, get ready for the critical fire danger to continue to increase across the state, especially by Friday heading into the weekend. Dry conditions, warm temperatures, dry vegetation, low humidity. It all goes together to create a critical fire concern for us. So we want you to be aware of that, as a lot of folks will be out and about for the weekend. St. George, one word, hot. That's the forecast over the next 7 days with triple-digit heat each and every afternoon. Meanwhile, the Wasatch Front minus an isolated storm today. We stay on the hot side with temperatures by the weekend back into the mid to upper 90s.